Pulse. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And down to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Free. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ、礼儀を重んずること。一つ、景気の湯を戒めること。Ready? That's it. よい。しばらくち。Ready? よい。So today's class is going to be an intermediate class. So I would put this class at about an orange belt level. Orange to green, probably maybe a little bit of blue. All right, and what we're going to do today is focus on your front kick. All right, so your Geri front kick. And we're going to kind of take you through everything you've learned. All right, the learning process for the front kick. So we're going to start in a Shizentai. We're going to start just here, and we're going to do our front kicks. We're going to work the right and the left, right, and then we're going to step into a front stance, and we're going to work a front kick from there. And then we're going to do regular line drills, right, that we normally would do when we're learning this. So basically we're going for the progression that you learned this kick. We're going to go through that entire progression today, right? So then we're going to, again, once we get through the line drill, then we're going to move into a kata. A lot of katas don't have front kicks unless you get into the takioku katas, right? So maybe we'll do or the Geri katas, not the takioku katas, but maybe one of the Geri katas, so like Geri kata-san, Geri kata Shotokan. Another is a good kata to do. Or we could take a kata like hand Shotokan and add a kick with every kihon technique. All right, so there's a couple of options that you can go through whenever you're trying to focus on your front kick, which is what we're doing today, just focusing on that front kick, because typically we don't see a lot of it in kata, right? If you think back and kind of go through kata, hand Shotokan, no kicks. Hand Nidan, side kick. It does have a front kick when you turn. Hand Sandan, no front kicks. Hand Yandan, no front. Hand Yandan does have front kick. Hand Godan, no front kicks. Teki, nothing. Basadai, don't believe so, right? Kankudai, so again, as you kind of go through kata, you don't really come across a lot of front kicks. There's maybe two kata that really have front kicks in them. So it's just a good kind of kick to go back to, kind of remembering your roots, kind of getting some good practice in. So again, this is a good class to come back to practice that front kick and really make sure you're honing that skill. All right, because it is a great skill to have in kumite especially, because you can back up your opponent, you can surprise your opponent, you can keep distance from your opponent, but you can also use it to attack your opponent. All right, so very versatile. Your legs are much longer than your arms, so there's a greater distance. So again, you can back your opponent up, or you can create distance from your opponent, again using that front kick because your legs are much longer. And you can move forward and back and not really gain or lose space, right? If I'm here and I want to punch, okay, I'm limited to there. But with a kick, I can go all the way out. I can go much further, but I haven't moved my body, right? I'm still taking up the same space I was before. So again, a lot of good positive things come out of that front kick. All right, so let's talk about the front kick in general. All right, your kick should be a whip. All right, it should be hip driven, just like most everything that we do in Shotokan karate. Again, hip driven. So it's much more difficult whenever you're standing here like in Shizentai, which we will do because this is where we started from, right? Whenever we first learned the kick, I asked you to demonstrate it to me for an exam, for your white belt exam, by standing here. All right? Just by standing here, feet shoulder width apart, and just kicking. Right? Now, you don't get a lot of hip movement there, but you do get the leg movement, which is up, out, back, and down. And you should have control there. Right? The kick shouldn't be thrown wildly. It shouldn't be to throw you off balance. It shouldn't be a swing like that. That's not a front kick. Okay? Again, you should bring your knee up, extend the foot out, bring it back, and then put your knee down. Right? So it should kind of look the same in when you kick, as if once your kick is out there and stopped, if you were to then play that in slow motion, I shouldn't be able to tell whether you're putting your foot down or whether it was reversing, right, the motion. So again, it should look up, out, down, up, out, back, and down, up, out, back, and down. Same thing, the left foot. Okay, so it should come up, just up, out, back, and down. All right. Bobbing your head. So we're not really into the movement part, right? Because we're just standing here in Shizentai to do this kick. But as you move forward, right, we're not coming up and dropping your shoulders, right? It shouldn't feel like that big of a movement. Everything should be happening below the waist. So as you move forward, okay, it's the kick that is most important there. All right, you're not, again, in a front stance and then going. You're not bobbing your head or ducking your head or putting your chin to your chest. All right, everything should remain upright. So we'll get there. Right now, let's go ahead and focus on this Shizentai stance. Let's get 5 on each side. Front kick, my Geri. All right, 5 on each side. And then we'll stop. I'm going to turn and we'll do 5 more on each side. So listen for my count, execute the kick as you normally would. Again, you're an intermediate student. You should know this kick, all right? You should be proficient at this kick. I'm just taking you through, again, the progression from beginning all the way through to where you should be now, all right? And again, a good class to come back to get that progression instilled in your head. It may be a class that beginners can come to and kind of see where they're at, right? Where do I fit in this progression of learning this kick and making sure I'm proficient at this kick, okay? So feet shoulder width apart, hands on your hips. If you want down by your side, that's fine. I know that's how we initially learned this kick, but I prefer to do hand on my hips. All right, ready? On my count. Each, knee, some, young, go, rope, sich, punch, cue, Jew, good, yeah, man. Again, your kick should be centered. So again, every kick should be hitting the same target, just like whenever we do Chokozuki punch, right? We pick our target, whether it's a light switch on the wall, the camera that's right in front of us, right? Every punch is going to the same target. Regardless of whether I'm right or left punch, every punch is going to the center, same target. Same thing with your kick, right? Regardless of whether it's right or left, my target is the same. Okay, it's as if you have your bag, right? And you're kicking your bag. The bag is the target. It is sitting right in front of you. You're not kicking over here and then kicking over here and back and forth. Your kick should be centered. Okay, let's try it a couple more times. From here, I'll turn to the right this time. Again, just so you can see that whip motion that you should be producing as well. Ready? Each, knee, some, young, go, rope, sich, punch, cue, Jew. Yeah, man. Good. All right, tuck your butt when you're doing this kick. Okay. Again, these are all just fine points that will get you to where you need to be. All right, so I'm going to turn to the left this time. Again, same drill. feet shoulder width apart. Okay? Should feel comfortable here. All right? Should just be your regular standing position. Okay? If you want to walk into it, so you're going to start there, you can just walk into it. Walk and stop. Wherever your feet are, that's your normal standing position. This is where you should be performing this drill from. Okay? So, again, tuck your butt. Don't stick your butt out. The power should be moving forward. Target should be the same every kick. All right, these are all the things you want to focus on and think about. All right, ready? Ich, ni, sung, young, go, ruk, sich, hutch, cue, ju, good, now man. All right, progression from there. What do we do after we learned how to do that kick standing straight? Well, we got into a stance, right? Typically this kick is done out of the front stance, so that's what we're going to do now. We're going to do 5 kicks on the right and 5 on the left. So standing, get in a good front stance, left leg out in front, so a left Zengu Tsudachi, front stance. We're kicking with our right foot, right leg, our rear leg. All right, this is a rear leg Mai Geri. All right, there's a Maiashi Mai Geri, that's front leg front kick, but we're doing rear leg front kick. All right, hip drive comes in here. So this is when you really start picking up that hip drive and understanding what that feels like. So from here, again, if you want your hands to your sides, that's fine. Put your hands on your hips, that's fine. If you want your hands in a fighting stance at this point, that's fine as well. You pick. I'm not going to be too picky at this point, as long as we're getting the kick right. Good front stance, okay? I know you know front stance, so let's go over it real quickly one time. Front foot should be flat on the side. This edge should be straight, pointing directly at your opponent. Back foot, more straight than out, right? It shouldn't be this, okay? It shouldn't be a 90 degree. It should be less than 45. And as forward facing as possible. The more advanced you get, the more that's going to change. Right? The more dialed in it's going to become. This is beginner, and then it eventually comes to here, all right, for your back foot. Not leaning forward, not leaning back. We're standing straight up. All right, our body is upright. And again with this, we're not bouncing. I know we're not moving forward yet, but don't go up. Remember that low ceiling is right over your head, so don't bump your head. All right, hands on your hips, hands in your fighting position, or hands out to the side, whatever you prefer. Ready? On my count. Ich, ni, sung, young, go, ruk, sich, hutch, cue, ju, hey. Good, yummy. All right, I'm going to switch sides. All right, so right Zengu Tsudachi, right front stance, should feel the same. Okay, everything should feel the same here. Good front stance, check everything you need to check. Are you comfortable? You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back. Your body is centered over your legs. Good weight distribution. And you're able to push off of this back leg, balancing on your front foot to execute this kick. But control. Control is important. Okay? I want you to be able to do this just like I did there, somewhat slowly if you need to. So if I say fast, do the kick. If I say slow, do the kick. All right, there shouldn't be a huge difference in the two as far as how you do the kick. Control is what I'm trying to emphasize there. Okay? If you're able to control it, you're most likely doing it correctly. If you're not able to control it, something is wrong with it, whether it's your balance, it could be the stance that you're in, so you need to adjust your stance, okay? Or it could be how you're throwing that kick. So there could be several things that you might need to change focus on to make sure you're getting that kick done correctly, all right? All right, so let's go again. 10, ready? Ich, ni, sung, young, go, ruk, You. Good, you know what I mean? All right, let's do that one more time. All right, I'm just gonna change my angle just to give you something different to look at. All right, as we go through this, something different to reference, okay? Let's just do 5 on each side. I'll rotate, we'll do 5 on each side. Okay, so again, focusing on that kick here today. Ready? Left Zenku Dachi front stance. Feel good about your stance. Lock it in, okay? Comfortable? Is your body upright? Check your feet. Comfort there. Are they in the right position? Think about all these things, okay? Ready? And each. Knee. Some. Young. Go. You know what I mean? Now that you're here, check your stance again. Are you still in a good front stance? Everything feels right. Yes? Change stance. Right leg in front, left leg is back. Right Zenku Dachi front stance. Ready? Same drill, just going for 5 here. Lock in your stance, feel good about it. And each. Knee. Some. Young. Go. Yeah, man. Alright, I'm just changing to the other side. Left Zenku Dachi front stance. Lock it in, feel good about it. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. Young. Go. Good, young man. Change your stance. Right Zenku Dachi front stance. Everything that I've been saying from the beginning, think about it here. Wide stance. Okay? Again, that could be one of the issues that you might be having if you're not able to control it or go slow. Widen that stance. Okay? Are your feet facing forward as possible back here? Your back leg bent. Right? All things that you need to think about as you go into this stance and before performing the kick. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. Young. Go. And yeah, man. All right, real quick. Let's talk about foot position. 2 positions for the foot. This or this. It's up to you, I don't care. It's really gonna depend on the situation. It's gonna depend on your footwear, right? If you're barefoot, all right, and your opponent is, I guess it doesn't matter whether your opponent's barefoot or not. If you're barefoot, you can kick either way, right? Maybe you don't want to kick with your instep as much because it's a more vulnerable area to kick with. So you want to point your toes up and try to kick with the ball of your foot, which is, again, perfectly fine as you execute that kick. But it should be more of a thrust kick at that point and not as much of a snap kick. So that thrust kick is a great way, again, to create distance quickly. If your opponent is walking towards you, push them back with that front kick. Okay, if that's what you're trying to do is create distance. A snap kick is a good groin kick. Okay, if they're standing here, they're threatening you, maybe they're holding you. If they have a good hold, right, I can push here, a good palm heel strike. That's going to back them up. Perfect amount to groin kick. Okay, so that's more of an instep kick. When you're practicing this kick, it doesn't matter what you do, right? If you're wearing shoes, you can probably kick with your instep. It's not going to hurt as much when you make contact with a person, right? So if you're on the street or you're out and about and you're wearing shoes, right, throwing that front kick really doesn't matter what you do with your feet because you really can't point your toes inside your shoes, right? Depending on the type of shoe you're wearing. Cowboy boots, boots in general, sneakers, tennis shoes, it's going to depend. If you're wearing flip-flops, you better kick them off because that first front kick is going to send that flip-flop flying. Okay? So think about that kind of thing, right? Footwear. It really is going to depend on the situation that you're in. So how you position your foot with your kick, it's going to be really up to you. Okay? okay? I don't want you to get locked into something and say, well, this is what my sensei told me, I'm always supposed to kick this way. It's gonna be situational, right? Whether you kick with your toe up or your instep, really up to you, and again, situational. So don't get locked into one thing and think that's the end-all be-all of how your foot should be positioned, okay? It's gonna be this, I can't even do it with my fingers, or that, okay? Either your toes are pointed up or they're down. All right, you make that decision and you make your kicks land appropriately based on that. All right, so if you're impacting an area, like under the arm, the groin, if someone's bent over and you're making impact, right, it's best to do it with your instep. If you're trying to create distance, push back, maybe you're kicking something, if you're kicking a vertical target, right, you want to kick with your toes up. You want to land with the ball of your foot. If you're kicking a horizontal target, you want to kick with your instep, lifting it up, right? That's more impact because it's going up. Vertical, you want to kick the ball of your foot and push that target if you can. All right, so maybe that's a little bit more relatable, so think about it that way. All right? All right, so before we lose momentum here, let's go ahead and walk. All right, so we've crawled, right? We started just standing here with our kick. We moved into stance with our kick. Now we're gonna walk with our kick, all right? So we're gonna stand or step into Zengu Tachi front stance. We're gonna do a front kick. This is progressive, and because we're walking, we can go left and right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk straight to camera. Moate, so we're going to do a turn and come back. We'll end here. Then I'm going to go to either side of the room. So we're going to do a lot of kicks here, right and left. Okay, so just listen for my count, listen for my commands to do your turn, whenever you want to do your turn. It's really for me, so if you have to turn earlier, turn earlier. It's going to depend on the amount of space that you're able to have in your practice area. All right, ready? Yo! And we're going to go into let's go into Geri Marai Kumite. Ready? Geri Marai Kumite. Good. All right. Hands where you want them. If you want them in a fighting stance, that's fine. If you want them on your hips, that's fine as well. Same thing we just did, where we stood in one position, except we're going to walk forward now, alternating your kick right and left. Ready? Hajime. Each. Ni. Some. Young. Wate. Each. Ni. Some. Young. Wate. Amen. All right. Feel good about that? Okay, because instead of bringing your foot up and then coming back down, you're bringing your foot up, back, and setting it down. Okay, you understand there's a difference there and how your momentum shifts. And you'll see it as we go side to side here a little bit better, but make sure, again, you're still throwing with your hip, right? The kick is still hip driven. You're just changing how you're setting your foot down. Okay? All right. I know you know this. You're intermediate students, so you have this stuff down. Ready? Get him right on take. Peace. Position your hands. Ready? Each. Ni. Some. Young. Wate. Ready? Each. Ni. Some. Young. Wate. Yame. All right, again, from this side, think about low ceiling. Don't bump your head, all right? I don't want you, this wave, okay? Avoid the wave. Very linear, okay? And this is what Shotokan is about. Be very linear as you move across the floor with your kick. Don't come up. Don't come up with your kick. Because when you come up, you tend to duck your head, throw your chin into your chest. All right, that's what I want you to avoid. Stay looking forward the entire time. Don't bob your head, don't look down, don't lift up your shoulders. This kick is not about the waist up, it's about the waist down. So relax up top. Just be relaxed. All right? Ready? Get them right, come take. Position your hands. Lock in that front stance. Ready? Each. Knee. Some. Young. Wate. Each. Knee. Some. Young. Wate. Amen. All right. Very good. So, again, from baby steps to walking to jogging, right, is what we're looking at here. Remember that your kick, again, don't bob your head. Balance. So it shouldn't look like you're falling over, regardless of whether you're doing it from here, or standing here in stance, or walking forward in the stance. Your kick should always feel the same, regardless of which way you're performing. Hips drive the kick. Power comes from the ground up. So as you're turning, right, and again, don't bob your head. Relax that upper body throughout the movement. Okay, before we move to kata, I'm going to throw you for a loop here. Let's do that line drill, 2 kicks. All right, I want to do a front leg, front kick. Mayashi mai geri. Then a rear leg, mai geri. What's that look like? If you're an intermediate student, you know what that looks like. Right? Okay, from here, we're not going to do Sudachi front stance. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now this one does look a little bit different because you're having to come back up. So you're raising your body because you're coming back on that back foot to kick, then you're sinking back down. So on this one, maybe you bump your head on the ceiling because you're coming up. Try not to. Bend this back leg, kick, then move forward with your other kick. All right? Raise up, leg bent, kick, drop down, kick. All right? Remember that. Try not to bump your head on the ceiling. Bend that back leg. This is a big one. I get this a lot because a lot of people will just completely stand up. Instead of bending the back leg, they just say, here we go, I'm all the way up, I'm down, which creates this impact, this very awkward movement, because you're here, and you go here, drop down, and then the back leg comes up for the front kick. Don't do that. Bend that back leg. Show that you have control over your body, okay? From here, bend that back leg. All right, make sure you have balance, good body control. Bend that back leg, kick, front kick. Bend the back leg, kick. All right, let's go through this one time slow. I don't want to overcomplicate it, so let's just go one time slow. Maybe we'll do the full drill. We'll do front and the sides, okay? All right, ready? Get him right, take. Hands where you feel comfortable. Hands where you feel comfortable. If you want them on your hips, that's fine. If you want them out to your side, that's fine as well. All right, it's going to depend on the level of intermediary where you are, right? If you're just fresh in, you might want them here. That's fine. It helps with balance, so if it's something you're struggling with, put your hands out. The more you bring your hands in, the more advanced you become, right? Just like a tightrope walker on a tightrope. They have their hands out, they're trying to gain balance. Or a skater, even an ice skater. When their hands are out, they're turning slow. The more they bring their hands in, the faster the spin becomes because they're able to create more balance. All right? All right, ready? Maeashi mae Geri with the rear leg. Ready? Ichi, ni, san, yon, moate, ichi, ni, san, yon, moate. Amen. Good. All right, I know that kind of throws everyone for a loop, all right, but I just want to put it out there. I want to put that practice into place. But bringing it back to the reason for the class, it's really about the rear leg migrating, all right? So I don't want to focus on that front leg too much, okay? All that said, all the drills that we put into this now, let's do hand shodan with a kick for each kihon technique. All right, let that sink in for a second. Every kihon technique, we're going to add a rear leg front kick. Let me just show you this first section so you understand what we're talking about. Okay, from here, okay, you got that? It makes sense, right? Every technique, but after you throw your technique, rear leg front kick, move to the next technique, rear leg front kick, next technique. So you're still doing hand shodan, all right? You're still doing every single move from hand shodan, same exact pattern. But because this entire kata is done in front stance, except for the 4 shutos at the end, because this entire kata is done in front stance, it gives you the perfect opportunity to throw a rear leg front kick with every kihon technique. All right. This is again why, as an intermediary student or as an intermediate student, you should be able to grasp this concept. Okay. When I'm doing Geri kata shodan, this is complicating hand shodan. Okay. All right, let's try it together. Ready? Yoi. Subidachi. Ready? Yoi. All right, I'm not going to count. I want you to do this at your own speed and pace. Every technique, throw that front kick. Ready? Announce kata. Hin shodan. And hajime. All right, y'all man. Okay, that one could look a little messy. All right, but you got through it. Let's do it again. Okay, this time I'm going to count it for us. All right, because I understand how complex it can be. I'll take it slow. All right, but you should be holding every technique. Okay, so when you punch, for instance, hold the punch. kick. The punch is still out there. The next punch. Punch is out. The kick is out. The punch is still there. Every technique, hold it. Right? We turn, gate on, kick. It's still there. Agayuke. Kick. The block is still there. So don't stop what you're doing. I don't want you to, again, don't change the kata just to execute the kick. I want you to be able to hold your technique, execute the kick, transition to the next technique. The end, the shutokes. If you're not comfortable doing the kicks with the end, that's fine, don't do them. Just do your 4 shutokes. But if you're comfortable and you're feeling froggy, back stance, shuto, transition it to front. Kick, come back to shuto. Shuto, transition, kick, come back, turn. All right, all you're doing is rotating your body, rotating your hips. From back stance to do that front kick, a lot more hip rotation, right? Because we're back, this foot is 90 degrees this way, and you're wanting to kick here. You're gonna have to step over, drive the kick, and then come back to this back stance. And I know we didn't cover that. So again, if you're not comfortable doing that, in that last section, don't. Just do your 4 shutokes. But if you feel like you can get this done, get it done. Transition a little bit. It's not that complex, okay? Again, as an intermediate student, you should know that. Back stance is fairly simple. Transition, kick, come back. That foot just comes back. Again, if you put it on a line, you might be able to get 2 lines here. All right, line here, move it out, throw the kick, come back. Still on the line, still on the line. All right, so just think about it that way. Maybe practice it that way if you want. Get 2 pieces of tape or try some lines in the floor. You have hardwood floors or tile floors or mats where you have intersecting lines. Get on those lines and try that. Step out, kick, come back, or your feet on the line still. Okay? Something that you can try. It's not overly complex, but it's also not required. Okay? But it should be something that you can do as you get more and more advanced, right? So why not give it a try? It's different, right? You don't get locked into doing the same things over and over. All right, let's finish up here. Hand Shotokan, front kicks with every technique. I'm going to count it out for us. Yoi, Subarachi, ready? Yoi, Hand Shotokan. All right, listen for my count. Ready? Every technique. So when I say ichi, block, kick, knee, punch, kick. Every count is 2 movements. The second movement is always a kick. Ready? Ichi, knee, san, yon, go. Ichi, knee, san, yon, each, knee, san, yon, each, knee, san, yon, chip, each, knee, each, knee. Man. All right, there it is. We are done. So, hopefully you take a lot out of this class in reference to that front kick, that front leg, or that rear leg front kick. Okay, throw a little bit of front leg in there, but nothing that you should focus on right now. Okay, really focus on and come back to this class for that rear leg front kick focus. How do I do it standing? How do I do it in stance? And how do I do it walking? And then how do you integrate it into a kata? Which means how do you integrate it into a fight? All right, just because you know this and this doesn't mean you don't know this and that, right? So, be able to integrate these kicks into any fighting situation. Again, great way to back up your opponent, create distance. A great way to attack your opponent, right? Or a great way to put your opponent on the ground, maybe once you've done a lock where you brought them down and you want to kick to finish. All right, so again, there's a lot of ways that you can use that front kick against an opponent, and you should be proficient in that front kick, right? Karate is not all about your upper body and punches and strikes and blocks, which tend to happen a lot, right? Don't forget about those kicks. Okay? All right, let's come back to center. Yoi. Sudachi. Ready? Yoi. Seiza. All right. Today's meditation, just go through hand Shotokan again with rear leg front kick. All right, remember every technique is two techniques. Every technique is the Kihon technique from the kata. Throw the kick, next technique. Mokuso. Mokuso yame. Sensei ready. Tate. Yodachi. Sudachi. Ready. Yoi. Pulse. All right, students, thank you for joining me for this class, this intermediate class on the front kick. All right, we'll see you in the next class. Os.